First Chronicles chapters 5 through 9 may seem like boring reading, but chapter 9 puts life into focus for us. Let's find out more. There's a term in photography called depth of field. It's the range in which things are kept in focus. It's how you keep your subject in focus while you keep everything else blurry and out of focus. Well, 1 Chronicles chapter 9 stands out in sharp focus against the blurred information that precedes it. This chapter begins with this statement: "The people of Judah were exiled to Babylon because they were unfaithful to the Lord." And then, after a short generalized list of those who returned from exile, the chapter focuses on the priests and the Levites. Why? Because they were charged with dealing with sin and guarding the entrance of the temple and worship and caring for the temple. Because 1 Chronicles 9:1 plainly says that the people of God were exiled because of their unfaithfulness, the rest of the chapter focuses sharply on the temple, the priest, and the priest's faithful representation of God's ways and his presence. Now, what's all this got to do with you and me? Well, it's very easy to allow our depth of field to become so broad that everything seems important, everything seems in focus. But this leads to unfaithfulness, which leads to our own kind of relational exile from God. We need to keep our focus sharply on God, to the point that everything else seems to go out of focus. We need to stay focused on God by dealing with our sin as priests, and by guarding the gates of our hearts and our minds as gatekeepers, by being constantly ready to worship as musicians, and by taking care of our bodies as the temple of God, as it says in 1 Corinthians 6:19. This week, keep your depth of field narrow by keeping your focus highly trained on God. Keep your attention on God and his presence in your life this week, and see what a difference it makes. I'll see you next week.